Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo, and welcome to my scrapbook table, where today I'm taking part in the hop run by Janet and MK called Woodgrain and Winter. And so I have some winter photos and some wood grain paper, and that's what I'm working with today. The collection, or the sketch, is an Allison Davis sketch, and it's paid content, so I can't show you that, but it's the 10 photo sketches that I bought, about a month ago. And I'm not using 10 photos, but that's okay. The collection is called The Story of Christmas, I believe, and it's by Lori Whitlock, and I think it's from 2015. I actually bought all of this at a crop I was at where you can put things out that you have for sale, and somebody was getting rid of a ton of Echo Park paper. I think she used to sell it, but I bought 2 or 3 collections for just, I think it was 20 cents a sheet, and the sticker sheet might have been $1, but it was a bargain. And so what I've done here is cut these strips of paper. I believe there's 14 of them all together. And here is where I decided, I think I want to ink the edges. So I did do that. Yeah, I think that's what's happening right now. So I grabbed my Morning Mist, and that's what I'm inking all the edges of the strips with. And I'm going to put 3 on the right hand side of the page and the other 11 on the left. And so what I've done, I went ahead and glued all of them down. They're about 11 inches and 1 inch wide. And then I had to add a little bit of extra glue because some of them weren't. I used a temporary adhesive to get them where I wanted them. And then I went back and glued the edges down. Now I have my photos. These were taken in December of 2022. And I decided, with the busy pattern of the background, I wanted a small white border around the photos on the left, and then I believe I use a red one for the photos on the right. And a lot of the photos in the sketch that are part of the 10 photos, I think there were 3 smaller photos where I am putting these 2 photos. So I'm taking a little bit off. Sometimes I have trouble seeing where I want this trimmer to cut, but I still love the trimmer. There we go. And now I'm going to put this one down. You can see for that one strip of paper, I had to cut it in half. In order to get it to be turned the right way, I had to turn my cardstock, and it just wasn't quite long enough, but it doesn't really matter. So there we go. You can see the white frame on the left and the red on the white. Then this is one of the strips that comes with on a piece of cardstock, and I made that be the title. This is what Christmas is all about. I cut a portion of it to move to the right hand side to take that green the whole way across the layout. And now I'm going to cut a couple of things. I don't remember if I do 2 or just 1 from the cut apart sheet. I want this stack of presents, but I didn't want them on a 3x4 card. So I trimmed them out with my scissors, just did a little bit of fussy cutting. It was mostly straight edges, so that was pretty easy. And I left just a little bit of the border. The white in this collection, it's not like a bright white. It has a little bit of a tint to it. And I have some cardstock there that matches pretty well. I was happy with how they look together. Yeah, the only tricky part was the bow, and I didn't cut around it in detail. I just went a little bit. But then what I end up doing is backing this and also some of the stickers from the sticker sheet with fun foam, so that excuse me, so that I have a little bit of dimension on the page, because there isn't really anything else popped up on here. And at first I thought that green and the presents might go at the top, but ultimately they moved down here. So let's see. These pictures were at our good friend's house. When they lived here, we always spent an evening near Christmas at their house, having dinner together, opening presents, and playing with the girls. It was always a really special time. And now I'm thinking about where am I going to put the journaling. And there's one of the strips on this cardstock has a grid pattern to it. I'm not sure if you can tell on camera that it's a grid pattern, but there is. So I don't need this whole long thing. So I cut it out and measured what I need to fill in some of that gap there on the top right. And that's where my journaling is going to go. So I went ahead and inked the edges of that just like I did the other papers. And this is where I'll do a little bit of writing. And then it starts to bug me that there's this white gap at the top and the bottom in that section of the layout. And in the original sketch, her photos filled that gap, or nearly filled it, but mine don't. I don't have another photo that would work in that position. So I'm mulling over, while I do this inking and get the green pieces down, I'm mulling over what am I going to do to fix that, because I didn't want to leave it. So what I ended up doing is this paper that has the snowflakes on is a Woodgrain paper, and I decide to make a wide strip of it that's as wide as the photo to go at the top and the bottom, just to kind of fill in the white space there. And I thought of just putting some more 1-inch strips in that gap. And I decided, no, there's a lot of different papers going on here. And I just didn't feel like it was a good idea to put 3 or 4 more strips of paper there. So I decided just to use the wood grain with the snowflakes on it. And that is going to fill in probably a 2-inch piece at the bottom and just, I don't know, maybe 3/8 of an inch at the top above the journaling block. And then I realized this part of that green piece never got glued down the whole way. And then this is the little piece that I'm tucking in behind the journaling block. And I feel like it's a much more cohesive layout now. I'm much happier with it. So I didn't have you watch me take all the time to add the fun foam to the back of these things. But there it is, and that's just going to sit right beside those ornaments on that green piece of paper. And these are some stickers, ornament stickers from the sheet, and a few of them I popped up and some I didn't. And then there was this arrow that says ho ho ho. And even though that's not my title, I think the title was there in the sketch, and so I did want some words up there. And then I put the ornaments on spaces where they'll show up. Like this is a wood grain ornament, so I didn't want it on the wood grain paper, but I think it shows up nicely on that beige colored one. And I think I decide, yes, to put this little blue one down here. The one is printed on the green sheet, so that one's flat, but this one layers over top of that nicely right in there. And I'm happy with that. So I will have a link below for both Janet and MK, who are doing wood grain in winter. I'm not sure if there's a playlist, but if there is and other people are doing it, I will put that in there too. And the last thing I decided to do was add some gold splatter. And I used a really fine paintbrush to get little tiny splatters. And I just took my time because if I try to put too much paint on at a time and get done more quickly, I end up with big splotches that I'm not happy with. So I just put little bits of paint on this tiny brush at a time. and hit it with this other, or hit it on top of this other pencil. And in the still shots, you'll see the gold spatter. And I'm really happy with the gold. I think it just feels more Christmassy to me with that gold on there. So we're coming to the end. There's going to be still shots, and again, I'll have some links below. Go check out the other people doing wood grain and winter, and maybe you'll take some winter photos and a piece of wood grain paper and make a layout too. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel, I'm really excited that you're here. Thanks so much. I hope you'll like and subscribe to my channel. And there, I took my splatter box away so that you can see. And there's a little bit of that gold, you can tell on there. So I love the gold. I think it's pretty. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate your taking time to watch. Those of you who take time to comment, I appreciate that too. I try really hard to reply to all the comments. I did catch one today, though, that I hadn't replied to from a couple months ago. So I went ahead and replied, but I apologize. I really do try to, within a couple of days, reply to comments. So here are the still shots. I hope you're having a great day and that you get to make something fun in your craft room soon. Bye-bye.